My dude, YST and I have searched the internet and found nothing. So we're going to share the top rares for Clan Boss with you today. Let's go. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here, and I am joined today with my friend YST. How you doing today, buddy? What's going on?
Going MTG. Thanks for having me on the channel. It's a pleasure. Long
Oh
time in the
yeah,
making.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. It's been way too long since we were able to put this together, but we recently did another collab on your channel, so
Yeah.
I will try to put that in a pinned comment or in the description or something. Link that below. We were talking about problems in the arena. They are many, so make sure you check out that video. We need your feedback as well so we can feed it back to Plarium. But today, before we get into our topic, YST, why don't you just tell my viewers just like a little bit about yourself in case they're not familiar with you. I don't know why they wouldn't be because you're an amazing guy putting out awesome content. So, but yeah, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I go by the name of YST, of course, and I've been making YouTube content on Raid for about, I'd say, just over 1 year now. A lot of stuff to do with like Clan Boss mainly, mid game, some end game stuff. But yeah, overall, just enjoying the game as a whole, enjoying the community, enjoying working with people in this space as well, and just talking to you guys in general. So yeah, that's pretty much sums up me in a nutshell, for sure.
Yeah, awesome, man. And I think I've been following you on YouTube throughout your whole journey because, as we said on the collab on your channel, we started right about the same time, and we've been,
Yeah.
tracking, and I'm secretly competing against you. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and dive into our topic for today, which is the best rares for Clan Boss, which, man, this is just not a topic that people discuss very often. And so we are going to each go ahead through and give our top 5 rares. And then we'll throw in a couple extras at the end as well. So, YST, do you want to get us started off here?
Yeah, sure thing. And even talking about rares in the Clan Boss, guys, like, it is true that they're not bringing many great rares into the game at the moment, like a Frozen Banshee, for instance. But overall, there is a lot of good choices for like mid game and even to the end game, which hopefully we can discuss in this video and
Right.
share some light on hopefully some hidden gems that you guys aren't aware of. So what I want to do is kick it off with a champion that's pretty new in the Shadowkin, and he goes by the name of Ogachi.
Oh, I was so hoping that you included him.
Yeah,
Excellent choice. What do you like
he's a really
about
great champion.
Ogachi?
So mainly his A1 is not amazing, but it's good for like if you got a lifesteal set on or leech on the clan boss, and you just want to like get his HP back up to full. Pretty solid A1. On the attacks all enemies and places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns, equal to 20% of their max HP. Even this ability is not what you're really using it for, but it's all down to this A3 ability, which places a block debuffs and an increased defense on all allies on a 3-turn cooldown. This is a really great buff, so if you think about champions like Jarek, that champion has it on a 4-turn cooldown, and to have it in a 3-turn makes it really easy for players to start doing 1-to-1 ratio teams, getting block debuffs to tank the stun, or just extend it with like a Sandash Survivor. Really great A3 ability for a rare champion, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Defense
Yeah,
in dungeons too. I'm not sure you'd be using him there, but
yeah,
yeah,
no.
great choice, especially for normal up through brutal clan boss. Very good ability, but if you're building a traditional clan boss team, he could be invaluable to you much longer than that as well. All
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
I'm
But even if you are like, I like to say, like, even if you just say you don't have a Sepulchre Sentinel, you don't have a block debuffs
right.
champion, just to make your team to work. A champion like this could definitely fit into your teams and he's very easy to tune. And the base speed isn't terrible at 94 at all. So trying to get to that 1-to-1 ratio shouldn't be a problem for
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, make
Yeah,
sure if you're going to use him, though, you really put a lot of effort into his defense because it's pretty low in comparison
yeah,
to some other defense-based champions.
yeah, for sure.
And finally, man, I love the aesthetics of this champion.
Yeah,
I think
everyone in the
he's so
Shadow
cool.
King looks amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, for my first champion that I want to call out today, This is like my OG dude for Clan Boss, and when I'm doing early game takeovers, this is one of my very first go-tos. One of the biggest, most important debuffs you need on the Clan Boss is decrease attack, and so I'm gonna call out Coffin Smasher today. He has
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
He
great
has that.
champion.
Go ahead.
Yeah, great champion.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He has a triple hitter on his A1 that is the decrease attack. So you can put amazing masteries on him to pair up with that. And in addition, you're getting that most important debuff with that decrease attack. His A2 also has the HP burn, which is also going to deal a lot of damage. And then finally, he has a passive that is going to lower the amount of damage you're taking from the clan boss by 5%, which is not a ton, but man,
Yeah,
it definitely helps. So what do you
yeah,
think
he's a
about Coffin Smasher here?
great champion. I remember when he first came out, and I didn't have a lot of rare books, right? And I really wanted to build him, and I was like, oh my lord, look at the book situation. He's been in the library for a long time.
Yes,
But yeah, his kit is so good for sure. Put a Giant Slayer on him for the A1. We got
yeah,
that HP one, which is great. And even pairing that passive with that Mastery, I think it's called the Blast Proof, which reduces 5% AoE damage.
right.
Really great passive for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, who you got next on the list?
Next up is we're going to be heading into the Lizardman. And this is a champion.
Lizardman.
Yeah.
What? When I was doing
So,
this research, I said there's literally no one I could use in here, so I'm so curious to see who you would pick.
all right. So you want to go in and head onto a Bog Walker, the Force Affinity champion.
What does this guy even do?
So this dude has a A1 with a decrease attack, guys. This is really solid. Granted,
Oh,
it's on a low chance, but you can book it up. But if you're struggling for a decrease attack A1, he is a really viable choice, especially when you pair it with his A2 ability, which has a 30% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So if you're looking for like your first increased defense champion, and by some chance you pull him, he's got decreased attack, he's got increased defense, and his passive can also reflect damage buff on all allies for 1 turn when attacked with a critical hit. It's an overall really basic but useful kit for sure. I'm
I
a big fan of it.
literally, I literally have never built this champion. I feel like I've been sleeping on him this whole time. That's an
It's really good.
excellent option for a decrease attack champion, especially early game. Man, awesome choice there.
Yeah. Even in
Um,
faction was like he was really clutch for me against the boss, keeping that decreased attack on, and he's one of the only rares that actually maxed up. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of him
did
and
you
Metal
clear
Shaper
the
for upgrade.
21 boss with this guy?
Yeah, I did. That was the first time that I beat it was with Bogwalker.
Wow, that's insane. So cool, man. So cool. Great choice
Great.
there for sure.
Who you got
Um,
next?
who I got next is I think the most improved rare, just based
Okay.
on some other factors for Clan Boss, and that is going to be Aeris. Man,
Yeah.
I am just super impressed with this chick lately. She enables some crazy, sweet, unkillable synergies with Demitha. And
Yeah.
her A1 really has nothing to do with anything. It just, gonna attack 1 time because she's not gonna kill anybody in Clan Boss. But her A2 is the cleanse. And at first, I think we overlooked her because it says 60% chance.
Yeah.
But of course, with those books, it gets to 100%. She removes the debuff, automatically, but that increased speed, I don't know why they set it at a 60% chance. That's very strange to me. But this
Yeah, it's a
increase
bit weird, isn't it?
it is
Yeah.
weird. The increased speed allows you to consistently stay at a higher rate against the clan boss, which is insane. And then her passive is great as well with the counter attack when an ally is attacked. It just really adds a lot of extra damage. And
Yeah.
then if you end up building her, I suppose you could use her as your speed aura in dungeons, but I don't really recommend it. The reason why she's so good is because with her A2 here, it allows you to build these unkillable comps with Demitha. And
Yeah.
without her, they really don't work unless you have some of these epics or legendaries to replace her with. So she is a great option, and a lot of people still don't know about her.
Yes. Picking up on that Demiffa comp, she can do wonders, guys. Like, if you go on YouTube and search up this chick, she can literally surpass like 100 million damage in the right setup with like the Myth Fu composition. It's really solid champion for sure. Great
Yeah.
pickup on that.
Yeah, for sure. And if you want more information on her, I actually just did a video yesterday on my channel about Myth Fu. So that was a good call out there. So check that out if you're interested in a Clan Boss team with her. So who you got on your list next?
All right, so heading into the next champion is going to be in the Undead Hordes.
Okay.
And the champion goes by the name of Seducer. And he is so undervalued for a rare champion as well. So on his A1, pretty much you can't use that against the clan boss.
Right.
On his A2, has a 100% chance once booked of placing the low version of the decrease attack for 2 turns, which is okay, right? He's a rare champion. But his A3 ability has an increased defense and a block debuffs on a 4-turn cooldown. So not as great as that Bog Walker, but he's still an amazing champion for the clan boss because he has that increased attack as well. But also, if you head into his A4 here, places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies for 2 turns and places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn, but only available if you have that Temptress champion on the same team. Chances are you're probably not going to max up that Temptress, but if you do, you can get an ally protection and a block damage from this dude. He's a really solid rare for sure.
I will say Temptress has a 4-hitter that places Leech.
Yeah.
And an increased attack, increased crit rate buff with her pairing with Seducer. So that could be a really cool early game team composition there. But Temptress is going to be very difficult to keep alive. You know, a Seducer is a defense-based champion, and Temptress is an attack-based champion with pretty low base stats. But he is a great choice as well, though. One little fact that maybe a lot of early game players might not know: if you put this lower version of decrease attack on the clan boss, and then let's say your Coffin Smasher comes in and does the big version of decrease attack, it will replace that. So this is a great backup. You know, you don't want to only... Sometimes you don't want to only rely on one decrease attack champion, since it's the most important debuff on the clan boss. Yeah, another great choice there, YST. Okay, next up on my list is a champion that I relied on for so long on my original account for Clan Boss. And this is not a champion who you normally think of for Clan Boss, but you do think about him in every other area of the game, and that is one of the best rares in the game, Apothecary. Now,
champion.
He is such an incredible champion, and okay, I think there's just, you know, a lot of people rate him as one of the best rares, but nobody ever mentions using him in Clan Boss, right? He has that triple hitter on his A1, so you can put that with Giant Slayer again, just like Coffin Smasher. The heal he provides is going to be great for topping up your champions, especially if you don't have people in lifesteal. He can heal usually himself and maybe one other. And then obviously the increased speed turn meter fill is going to help you take more turns than the clan boss so that you can do more damage. And doing a speed team like this is great early game. So that you can just do the most damage possible, because your teams are not going to be very survivable. Have you ever actually used Apothecary in Clan Boss, YST?
Yeah, I did when I first, I'd like to say, well, probably over a year now. But I remember when I was first trying to push like my Nightmare top chest, this dude was the one to actually help me push that goal.
Too.
And if you remember back then, we couldn't even see the clan boss damage. So it was like, throw your fastest team in there and hope for the best. And this dude, he definitely helped me out and get my first 2-key on Nightmare.
Me too.
He's insane.
Yep, me too. Okay, so next up is you, my dude.
Yeah, so next up here, we're going to go into the Demon Spawn. And the champion goes by the name of Diobelist. And she is a free champion that everyone can attain in the 12-free Brutal campaign, or anywhere in that stage anyway, on stage 12. And guys, it's such a simple kit, but it enables you to be able to go at a 2-to-1 ratio speed without a problem. So if you don't have like a Lydia the Death Siren and you're trying to create a composition in prep for your Lydia, this is a great substitute along with some other 30% increased speed champions. So if you head into the A2 here, attacks all enemies and places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. It's very hard to get a champion like this on a 3-turn cooldown, and considering it's a rare that you can book for free from farming the campaign, really great choice. And if you have a look at that base speed there, 110. That is insane, guys. And if you head into that A3 ability, it fills the turn meters of all allies by 15%, and the second part you don't really matter about. But when you think about like a Deacon Armstrong, it's very similar to that, but without the extra turn.
Right.
But if you don't want to use the turn meter fill, you could just block this off with presets, right? And
Right.
just focus on that increased speed, attacking all enemies, and that A1 ability. She's also amazing in all other areas of the game, so in my personal opinion, a really great investment, especially when you're trying to build a speed team for like the arena or in the dungeons, and you don't have like an apothecary or someone. I'm
Right.
a big fan of this. Probably my favorite campaign champion in the game.
I would say she's maybe one of the most underrated rares as well, just because we get so many copies of her. We just like think that she's not good.
Yeah,
And in addition, I want to mention too that increased speed buff without the turn meter fill is very
yeah,
rare. I know it
yeah.
seems like that's a bad thing because those two abilities are split, whereas a lot of champions they would be in one ability. But for some clan boss teams, that is really exactly what you're looking for is just the increased
100%.
speed without the turn meter fill. So,
Yeah.
very interesting choice there, my dude. You're
Yeah,
shocking me
because
here with some of these choices.
a lot of people in this game, like in my comment section, because I do a lot of clan boss stuff on the channel,
Okay.
and people really like, oh, which champion can you use instead of Lydia? And when you think about her
Oh,
30% increased speed on a 3-turn cooldown,
right,
not a lot of champions on a budget variation can fulfill that role.
right.
And to have it in a rare champion that's attainable for everybody gives you that chance to go at that 2-to-1 ratio speed that loads of you guys are after if you don't
Sure,
have Lydia. So,
sure. And
really
then,
great choice.
and then every champion, it doesn't matter what their damage stats are or their multipliers. Just putting
Yeah.
War Master on them is going to get you some damage. So those masteries obviously super important.
Yeah, and also in her kit, because she's attacking all enemies as well, when she's placing that increased speed,
Uh huh.
just adds to that damage as well, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. You don't get that a lot. Normally, your increased speeds are not attacks, and that's a pretty cool addition to her kit as well. Definitely worth mentioning.
Yeah,
All
for
right,
sure.
next up on my list, we cannot make this list without talking about Frozen Banshee. We can't.
Of
I
course.
mean, she's one of the best poisoners in the game still because of this poison sensitivity on her A3. I mean, we definitely need this poison sensitivity on more
Yeah,
champions. And then her A1 is going to give you all of those poisons that you need with the double hitter. And in addition, I am not even sure. Plarium just hit a home run with this champion because
yeah,
Frozen Banshee will not do her A2 on the clan boss, which is perfect. Because
yeah,
if she does, it's just so hard to track the turn meter fill. It'd be impossible to speed tune your team. And so the A1 with the poisons, she won't do her A2, which is perfect. And then the A3 with the poison sensitivity, really outstanding. And then super underrated as well, accuracy in all battles is going to help you hit that accuracy threshold that you need. And
yeah.
finally,
Big one for sure.
yeah, and finally, her base stats for a rare are pretty solid. Like you do not see 1,000 base defense on an attack-based champion ever as a rare. Obviously, her base HP pretty low, but you know this is a really solid champion for clan boss. Maybe one of your best damage dealers eat early or mid game until you pull some of these legendary champions is what it takes to overcome her damage potential sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. She's so good, and she was in the battle pass, right? That's where she first
Yes.
came out.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
first
So
came out in the one and only OG Battle Pass Season 1.
one day we'll get a battle pass too. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. 2 years plus, fingers crossed.
We'll end up with like fragments in there or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be totally fine with that. Listen, I don't even care what
Yeah.
they put in the battle pass.
Just
Having
to,
something is better than
yeah.
nothing, and I will never eat my words. Plarium, you can just put whatever you want in it. You can charge whatever you want. It can be $5 or $50. You can put whatever you want in it. Just do it.
Yeah.
But hopefully that'll be in 2022 here. They said we're going to get some sort of Battle Pass replacement, which I'm a little skeptical about those words. But all right, so your next champion would be.
All right, so next up is going to be in the Dark Elves. And she goes by the name of Painkeeper. I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of this champion. She is just so good for a rare. So attacking on that A1 fills this champion's 10 meter by 10%. Yes, you guys can tune this. There is a lot of guides out there for this champion. On the A2, attacks all enemies and heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP, which is really great. So when you're healing all allies from a specific champion's max HP, always a great thing. Heading into the A3 ability, decreases the cooldowns of all ally skills by 1 turn on a 4-turn cooldown. So when you talk about unkillable teams with like man-eaters, she is one of the roles for making budget unkillable teams and just unkillable teams in general. She really does shine. Very similar to like an Aeris where she makes some teams shine. She's on the other side of that. So good.
Yeah, just a couple things here to add too. Like, she's a great champion no matter what your account looks like. Even the most stacked accounts still use her on their clan boss team oftentimes. I wanted to call her out for a couple different things as well. Like, she is like the best healer in the faction. Like, unless you have like a blind seer, I think that's literally your only option, unless we're talking about Mithrala, that new champion from Hydra. There's just no other options for healers. And so, like, even if you're not using her in your clan boss team, like, that A2 heal is essential for your Faction Wars team. And then she'll decrease the cooldown of your skills in that area as well. Another thing, too, I oftentimes end up putting her in the Toxic set. Toxic set is a great way to get damage out of these champions who don't do good damage. So if you don't have a lot of poison on your team, don't forget about the Toxic set. It's an invaluable resource. And then the last thing for my end game players, you want to keep about, if you're running the Bat Eater team, if you put Painkeeper 10 speed lower than your Seeker, you can run the counterattack masteries on her. And I think that little things like that is how you end up doing a lot more damage on the clan boss. Definitely cannot have this list without Painkeeper. Yeah, great choice there, my dude.
100%. So, who was going to be your final one in your top 5?
My final one is actually a rare that I don't have maxed out, that now that I'm, approaching the end game on my new account, I'm thinking about maxing him out. So that should tell you how decent he is. And that would be my dude, the Dwarven dude, Bulwark.
Amazing.
Amazing champion. I know, right? So the reason why he's good is because everything about his kit is good, okay? He has a chance to place Weaken on his A1, which is great because a lot of times you're missing Weaken in your clan boss teams. He was on my original clan boss team on my new account here, just for that purpose. We had decreased defense, and then obviously he provides the weaken here. But his A2, again, provides HP burn. HP burn, poisons, those are the main ways that you're dealing damage in the clan boss. But the thing that is really appealing to me is his passive. He has a 30% chance to extend the duration of all debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn. We don't see this passive on epics and legendaries. So the fact that it's on a rare is insane. What do you think about this guy, YST?
Yeah, like, I recall when I was first doing my first ever Ultra Nightmare team, this dude was so good. Like, when you think about keeping that decrease attack and decrease defense, your weakens. If for some reason in your clan boss teams you are struggling in trying to keep those debuffs up, putting a Bulwark in your team is going to change your account. So he's also got a defensive aura, which is really solid. So if you don't have a defensive aura yet and you're like mid-game, this is a really viable choice for sure. And a Weaken is one of the most vital debuffs against the clan boss guys. Decrease defense and Weaken, remember that. So overall, huge fan.
Yeah,
Huge fan of
absolutely.
him.
And then I want to mention too, like a lot of you guys are building budget unkillable teams, and he's a great stun target, super great. All
Oh,
right,
really? I've
who's
not seen that yet with Bulwark.
what is it?
I've not seen Bulwark in a budget unkillable. Is that a cool team? Yeah.
Yeah, Bulwark as the stun target. I think that that's one of the takeovers I'm doing this week. Actually, Bulwark as the stun target. So
Okay,
we'll
I'll
see
look
if I
up.
have time to make that into a video for you guys.
Yeah, wicked.
All right, who do you got?
I think that was wrapping up for our top 5 each, and we'll head into some honorable mentions now of ones that didn't quite make our top 10, but ones that we still think are really useful in like end game or early game when referring to the clan boss. So I'll just drop a few honorable mentions here with Aethel and Kael as your starter
Oh yeah,
champions.
for sure.
Aethel is a champion that I've been using in my free to play, and I'm a huge fan of that triple hit A1 with that weaken. It's really great for like Giant Slayer procs, and of course the infamous Kael that everybody loves, or Kael, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, that poison debuff is really solid for early game. Also, my second honorable mention is going to be Corpulent Cadaver, who's really solid in end game compositions. You may have seen Victor Tez hitting like 700 million using that rare champion, paired with someone like a Hellborn Sprite. So those are kind of my 3 honorable mentions. Do you have anyone else that you wanted to pick up on?
Yeah, no, those are great honorable mentions. I would say to go along with a lot of the champions that you chose, I think we should definitely call out Marked. She also
Yeah.
has that block debuffs, increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. Increased defense, one of the best buffs you can bring to your team in Clan Boss. It allows you to run a lower defense, and then if you pair her with somebody to extend your buffs like Godseeker and Neri, etc., I think that keeping that increased defense, those block debuffs up, you could have the increased defense up for 3 turns, and then get your block debuffs up for the stun in particular.
Yeah.
And then the last one I want to call out is going to be Valerie. And what did we say? She's Bannerlords? I already forgot. Yeah, no, I was right.
Wait,
Okay. And
MtgJedi,
then
sorry to mess up the video. Did I not put her in my list?
no, I didn't. We didn't go over Valerie.
Oh, I forgot to mention that.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I got her pulled up here.
Um, uh, so wait, are you gonna just edit this in or?
No, just keep going.
Oh, no, well, you're gonna have to cut that out now because obviously it
Off the
just.
cuts. No
No,
cuts.
no, no,
No
no, no.
edits. You get unfiltered opinions, guys.
Okay, guys. So MTG's putting me on the spot here. All right. So Valerie, amazing champion. She was supposed to be in my top 5, and basically on a A1, pretty basic. But she increases the duration of all buffs and all allies by 1 turn, very similar to a Sepulchre, well not Sepulchre Sentinel, a Godseeker Inari or a Sandlash Survivor. And to have it in a rare champion on a 3-turn cooldown allows you to then extend those buffs, keeping you affinity friendly, keeping your increased defense up. Really solid A2, and that's pretty much what you're using her there for, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I want to say, like, if she's 60, the shield is helpful. It's not the best. It's a very low shield value, but it's at least something. And
Yeah,
then if you have her built, you can use that HP aura of 22%, which is pretty solid for your faction war team. So
yeah.
I think that we've covered like the majority of the awesome rares in the game. But guys, you gotta let us know in the comments below. What rares are we sleeping on? What rares do we really need to talk about or use? You need to hook us up in the comments with some sweet rare suggestions. Any last shout outs? What's going on with you on your channel this week? Anything like that?
Well, pretty much just trying to pump out some content. I've got some like budget clan boss kind of guides or beginner guides, if you say so. Trying to progress you in the clan boss. I'm trying to. Well, I actually need to do my Hydra boss. I'm not sure how many of you guys can relate to that, but I always leave it last second. I think I've got a few hours left or something.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
close.
apart from that, just pretty much pumping it out.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me on. I appreciate it, bro.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks so much for being here. It's great to finally be able to do a collab on my channel with you. Make sure you go check out our collab on YST's channel. Go subscribe to him. Great guy, great content over there. I'll make sure to include his information for you as well, so you can make sure to check out his channel. And
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck around all the way till the end, almost 30 minutes here, we super appreciate you. Let us know in the comments below so we can thank you personally for sticking around to the end of the video, and some other sweet videos will be popping on screen here at the end. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
Yeah.